Hello and welcome to another edition of the Chelmsford Business Association. I'm your host, Bill Martin, along with Paul Aronian. And today we're going to meet with Tom Mason, owner of EMT Homeworks. And when he says EMT, he's not kidding. Wait till you see his van. You're really going to get a kick out of that. Tom's been doing home improvement and construction for many, many years, and he's excited to bring that to a new company here in town. He's going to help you out, show you what to do around the house and how to keep your house up to par. So come on and meet Tom Mason with us here on the Chelmsford Business Association. We're here with Tom Mason from EMT Homeworks. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Thanks very much for having me.
Yeah, of course. And now EMT Homeworks, we're looking at your van here. This is just an absolute gas. Tell us about this.
Well, the van is a marketing tool.
Uh-huh.
It makes an impression that's unique and memorable. We wanted to create an identity that associated home improvement and combined the idea of the house call from the medical practice.
Sure, yeah.
Plus it's practical. They actually are retired ambulances and have plenty of space for supplies and tools and equipment. And
yeah,
plus
yeah.
It's kind of fun. Before we disconnected them, the kids really like playing with the lights and the sirens.
Yeah, well, I'm sure, yeah. It helps during traffic jams, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so now it's a retired ambulance, but it's still a great truck.
They're heavy-duty E350s, diesel engines. They're very durable. Obviously, they've been very well maintained. And as I say, they really work out perfectly. We do have the occasional concern from a neighboring customer about, why is there an ambulance in your driveway?
Come to my kitchen bottle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But as you said, it really does make a statement, and it's become something of a marketing point around town where people recognize in the ambulance. What's the story?
Right, yeah. Now, you've been at this a long time. It's a fairly new company, but this profession isn't new to you at all. Tell us a little about your background.
Well, it's not. I, like many folks my age, was working for an improved work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
I had earned my engineering degree from the University of Lowell and spent almost 30 years in a traditional corporate career path.
Yeah.
But I traveled extensively, and with young kids, I was missing too much at home. So my wife and I decided to launch EMT Homeworks because we knew we could provide quality craftsmanship within our local community here in Chelmsford.
Yeah, and being an engineer doesn't hurt, right? I mean, when it comes to that.
It doesn't. Sometimes maybe it's a hindrance, but it does certainly help to have that background.
Yeah. And now, you know, I don't know how big a job or how small a job, like one of the things, if people really, they're looking for someone to just do something, they say, well, this isn't big enough for me to make a call about or something.
Right.
But that might really be a mistake on their part.
Well, it can be, and oftentimes we'll be called in for something as simple as a handrail installation or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And while we're there, we build a rapport with the customer, and more times than not, we end up having 4 or 5 other things added to the list.
Yeah.
People are busy. They have a lot of things in their plate, and home improvement can be daunting. And we help take some of the stress out of that process.
Well, you know, and I'm speaking from personal experience, sometimes we learn to just live with something that's not quite right because we're thinking, oh, I got to call someone, I got to get 2 or 3 yesterday, I got to do all this stuff. And it really feels like, for me, I feel like if I have someone coming to my house, it's almost like I'm getting a part-time job. And that really isn't the way people should be looking at this.
Well, it's true, and it's difficult, especially with the trades, I think, fairly or unfairly, to build trust and rapport with someone that's coming into your home. It can be uncomfortable. And we work very hard to build that trust and confidence with our customers, and it's really paid off. We get almost all of our work now from customer referrals. And we also work to partner with local reputable companies here in Chelmsford. For plumbing, we use AOT Plumbing if we need a licensed plumber.
Sure, yeah.
For electrical work, we use Fielding Electric. For if we required licensed electrical work. And here at Chelmsford Lumber, local supplier of premium building materials.
Yeah, and I got to tell you that being a part of the Chelmsford Business Association, we like to hear that stay local theme that you got going there.
Well, I'm born and raised in town.
Yeah.
50-something years, and went to Chelmsford High, graduated in 1980. Went to University of Lowell, lived here my whole life. And, our roots are deep in this town, and while we do work in some of the surrounding communities, we focus primarily on Chelmsford.
Yeah.
Because we're familiar with the area, we know many of the folks that we work with.
Right.
And as I say, we'd like to keep our business local.
And you can't beat the commute.
I can't beat the commute. Back in the day, I was
Yeah.
commuting to Wisconsin for my job.
Is that right? Yeah,
So
no
my commute's
kidding.
a little bit less now.
Yeah. No, we're anxious to see the van, but one thing I got to ask you, just as so many people, and I'm of a certain age, that we're trying to find that life-work balance, to make our home life, more enriched, but we still need to work. And you and your wife, it sounds like you sat down and really took that into consideration.
Well, we did, and as I said, many people dream of being
Mhm.
able to work in a field that they're passionate about. I'm very fortunate to have the skills and experience to be able to do what I love.
Yeah, yeah. Well, good for you. Good
Well,
for
thank
you.
you.
Now, I got to tell you, they're dying to see the inside of the ambulance, so let's go have a look.
All right, thank you.
Now, Tom, this is absolutely beautiful. And I know we caught you by surprise by asking to have a look inside, but this was a fully operable ambulance, and you got really everything but the stretcher.
Well, actually, it came with a frame for the stretcher, as well as some other stuff that wasn't so desirable. But as I said, it really does work out perfectly for our needs because it has a tremendous amount of space for tools and screws and fasteners and paint and all the things that we need to bring with us when we're on a job.
Yeah, and it still has all the cabinets and the bench and the seat for the attendant. It's all still right there. And that cabinet space, for the medical equipment, that comes in so handy in your job.
It really has worked out well. It helps us keep organized and understand what we have in stock and what we need to resupply. And everything stays in place when we're driving, more or less.
Yeah, yeah. And there's power back here, too, to plug in.
There's power back here. There's obviously 12 volts. We also have 110 volts. I have a printer that I can print off invoices from my phone if I need to. It really does work out ideally.
No kidding. Wow, that's amazing. And so in terms of extension cords, you're just running everything to the van, essentially.
Sometimes we
Yeah.
do, absolutely. We can get electrical power right from the truck.
Yeah. Wow, it is something. Yeah, and it has, plenty of room, and obviously, now I got to ask you, ladder racks, is that something coming up in the future to put ladder racks on the top of the ambulance?
Well, you'll intentionally see that there are not ladder racks included. And
Okay.
There's a reason for that. We made the decision when we began the business that we would minimize risk as much as we could.
Uh-huh.
So we don't work on
Any-
roofing, we don't work on siding that requires any type of extension ladder.
So nothing higher than what you could fit a ladder in the,
Yeah,
in
six,
the back of it.
6
Yeah.
feet is our limit, and,
Yeah.
And that's an intentional
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. My whole family is a family of house painters, and the rule was always the new guy goes to the peak. So my first day, I couldn't wait for my dad to hire someone else.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, when you started doing this, you have some ups and downs, and you've been in about a year now? How long you been?
Yeah, we're coming up on our first anniversary, and we've been very fortunate. Obviously, I had done quite a bit of planning before we launched into
Yeah.
the business, so
Yeah.
we had a pretty good idea what to expect.
Yeah.
And like any position, there's been good weeks and not as good weeks.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But on balance, we're ahead of plan. Our business plan was a 5-year vision of where we thought we could take the business, and really very fortunate that we've been ahead of that plan so far, and looking now to continue to expand.
Yeah, well, and that's so important. A lot of times, home improvement or some of the trades, it's like the best guy, the best carpenter ends up being the guy who owns the company, and it's like, carpentry doesn't always prepare you to run a business.
That's
True.
That's
And
true.
where you've been in the business world, and now 5-year business plan, and there's a lot of great plumbers, electricians, carpenters who
absolutely.
have that as well. But that is a key to this whole thing, isn't it?
Well, there is something to be said for without a plan, you're planning to fail. So we needed to have a compass that we call it,
Right.
and our vision was to start small,
Mm-hmm.
to think big,
Yeah.
and to scale fast.
Yeah.
So as the opportunity presented itself, then we'd be able to grow with the opportunity while maintaining that same local feel and kind of one-on-one
Right.
relationship building that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, yeah, and that's so key. Yeah, yeah. Well, congratulations. This is just an absolute hit, no doubt, with the whole EMT thing. Now, how do people get in touch with you?
Well, we drive most of our new business through our website, which is emthomeworks.com.
Easy enough.
Easy enough to remember.
Yeah.
We also get quite a bit of business from the Chelmsford Facebook page. We've got a number of of hits and interest through that.
Yeah?
We don't really advertise, as I said earlier. Most of our business is through customer referrals.
Yeah.
So we get
Always the best.
always
too.
the best
Yeah.
because we've already established a relationship with someone
Right.
there.
Yeah.
And then you can also call us, 978-204-1846.
Okay. Well, easy enough. Tom, congratulations again. I think that you're gonna do very well. I just have a good feeling about we're gonna be seeing a lot of EMT Homeworks vans around town. Congratulations.
No doubt. Thanks so much for hosting us today.
Of course, our pleasure, our pleasure. And Paul and I are off. We're actually going to go find a nice little restaurant here in Chelmsford. I think you're going to be interested in joining us for that here on the Chelmsford Business Association.
You buying lunch?
Yeah, I am.